Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, that's something that we need to see from this game, especially VNOMCREST don't want to go into the 3-0 and go out like that because has still elimination. I want to see right now a draft that is going to be focused on the bot lane and is going to be enabling the bot lane, enabling Kobe as much as possible. Because if you remember the damage distribution within the team, Kobe takes a really big chunk of that. And we need to see that actually translating into the team willing to be playing around him and protecting him from Los RATONES.
VNOMCREST on the red side for the first time. They tried to pick on the blue side 2 times in a row to get the priority. Maybe they want to counter pick something presented by LR. So far the bans are the same. It's gonna be the Ashe.
Oh, okay. I am sniffing Renata Kalista coming through from the side of VNOMCREST. Ashe being one of the very big counters to things like Kalista, since she does slow her down with her auto attacks. But right here, the Poppy slam from the side of LR, playing Kalista into Poppy is not a most fun experience.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. No, I mean, I also have a feeling that it should have been here Kalista Renata for Colby, or Kalista Nico, or Kalista anything. But yeah, the right choice would be here to abandon the idea of Kalista, unfortunate but true. Go with Varus, something savory, something that is not going to suffer in any shape or form from Poppy slowing him down and letting him move, because, well, he doesn't really have any mobility. Which is
why... He doesn't move anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. He doesn't move anyway whatsoever. So what is going to be the support here? Because I need to see something from Vendel that is either going to allow Colby to find more targets for him, or that is going to protect him at all costs.
We talked about the Nautilus before, but also keep in mind that one of the strengths coming in from VNOMCREST was Wendell Thresh. I know it's off meta, but he plays it so well. You get the Corki, you lock him down, well... Oscarini is out, so but also it's kind of complicated to play versus Krani when he pilots this.
All right, so we have the flex right here from the Poppy, and I'm thinking, do you want to take the NAAFIRI away here if you're Velia? Because it pairs up really nicely with the Talia. It's a very good mid-jungle duo. Orianna gonna get locked in right here. Potential Nocturne even to come through for Velia to shut down the side lane. Makes Talia's life a little bit more miserable, especially since she can actually shadow Talia wherever she goes with the Nocturne, the wombo combo that we know also from the Orianna as well. So right here the question is, do you Viego this? Do you NAAFIRI this? Like, you need some sort of AD jungle.
I would argue that Poppy probably is not going to be a flex. She can be flexed, but I would say that it's most likely going to be in Bao's hands, because as much as we say that, limiting Bao's champion pool doesn't matter too much in this series, as much as we thought it would, Bao's doesn't really have a lot of stuff available for him to play, and Poppy is one of those champions he can pilot rather safely on the top lane, so I would say she goes there.
Reasonable. He did stated that his Poppy is top-notch, best of the Europe, so let's see how he plays it within the rifts. Yorick being removed.
Was it said before after the previous series?
No, it's messy. Are you doubting you're not an XDD? Leona and Braum being removed, so those champions for Reckless are being out of the equation. Rakan as well. So you can fall back to something more passive, as we've seen before, like even the Janna or the Bards, as he played before.
I was about to say just blind pick Na right here, because whatever lane you're playing into, he's pretty freaking versatile, right? But it's gonna get instantly banned out here, and I'm wondering what else VNOMCREST do they have through the top side. Doxy also plays Gangplank a lot, from what I remember. Can be pretty versatile. You already have an immobility carry in the legs of Orianna. Javan gonna come through with the Orianna. Again, I wouldn't be surprised to see something like the Nocturne come through here together with that Ori for the big wombo combo.
Actually quite surprised that it wasn't banned out, with VNOMCREST deciding to focus on supports, which still makes sense, but now it's open for Velia. And even though we don't have Kalista, we might have Reckless on Renata, which kind of falls into the category of falling into something a little bit more passive than you would expect, but also having insane value in the team fights with Varus and J4 on the enemy team.
At the end, it might fall back to what you stated.
Kubi might not be playing the NAAFIRI. That could also be a possibility right there, because she's a very, very strong champion paired up with a Talia. Likes to brawl in the early game as well. You get her ahead, you can win the game. Right here, Los RATONES have got a pretty squishy composition at that, but it's a very defensive composition as well. Renata really likes when champions dive into her, and seeing as, like, VenomCrest do have engaged, but don't necessarily have to commit all into all of this. Oh, love the cannon coming through from Doxy right here. A little bit counterintuitive with the Jarvan. He can either locks you in or out, but we'll see how VenomCrest is going to choose to pilot that.
Agency to make engages happen. There, the floor of execution on making those engages happen, very simple, right? Flag drag R, flash R from the Nautilus if you really need to get things going. It is super easy to make fights happen. A major concern is just kind of around the overall fact that we haven't seen VenomCrest be on the same page. So whilst this shotgun composition is, as I'll realistically dub it, is again the correct kind of decision and direction you'd love to see this draft going, VenomCrest just haven't necessarily filled me with a whole bunch of hope that they're going to be able to execute on that dream. Though we will see as we hit the riff for game number 3. And off the top of my eyes, nothing weird has transpired, though Gooby did get chunked out a little bit, and he's not going to be able to pace for that chunk out, so he will be spotted on that Raptor start.
Let's get spotted out there, and that can be pretty valuable. As we've seen, I think, over the last few weeks and months, NAAFIRI since the rework be really, really obnoxious, especially if she gets ahead. You get to Eclipse, you get to Shojin or Black Cleaver, and you just start taking over fights. You become a bit of a I was about to say man army, but that's a little ironic considering A, you're a dog, and B, you have about 30 other dogs with you, so that kind of just is immediately a false statement, and I apologize for even making the reference. However, bot side, Wendell gonna land an initial dredge line, and Crownie sticks on the Gatling gun and says that was probably a bad idea, mate.
Yeah, I mean, whilst we don't typically see Renard Corki as a duo, both of these champions very renowned for their ability to bully out in lanes, and you're seeing that in full-blown action right now. Naya looks like he ate a pretty meaty trade there, but also rock back into Nemesis's head. Trying
That's
to
very rude.
some of that damage.
Who does that? Just throw rocks at people. I mean, yeah, it's true.
Skarner.
That also true, but Meganar.
Malphite? No, Meganar.
I mean, just throwing yourself. I know he does actually. Seismic Shard is a rock.
Yeah, the Seismic Shard is like a rock, right? It just rolls.
And then he just like decides to like really up it by like throwing himself 16 feet through the announcer desk. WWE style.
Any other rocks?
You're my rock, Jamada.
Oh.
And you throw games occasionally and watch you on stream, so that also makes sense. As Baus needs to be a little bit scared here. There's a flash available, and Doxy just gets the solo kill.
All right, yeah, sure. First blood over to Doxy, and the cannon is going to be a very crucial part of this game in terms of finding backline access. Not a lot of hold that thought. Ruby is really chunked out here.
I think you just have to give up the blue buff here. He's actually recalling on a ward. I don't think he knows about it, but I don't think Value wants to take the fight. Would rather just get the steal on the camp and be happy enough with that. I'm assuming we'll see the Jarvan back, look to pick up a couple longswords or whatever and head towards that spawn of the Skull Crab on the top side of the map, knowing that he is going to just be missing that camp, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be down 2 camps, Scooby. So he didn't get his Grump either. So he's not just going to be down the blue. So Gooby might make a desperation play somewhere, perhaps mid. What Gooby 2 trades.
Crowley got to get an entire Gatling gun charge off on 2 people there. That is brutal. Scooby has gone for that potential desperation play.
Oh.
Doesn't need to flashes. Yes, Nemesis now in danger. Yet to use the E or the Q. The flag and drag available. Needs to try and get around here. Marshall gains over the wall as Velya flashes with the W after to make it the 1-for-1. Desperation play goes a little awry there, but at least they do get the Orianna.
Yeah, you know, I kind of don't mind that he's flashed. This might just 100% be the incorrect take here, but I think the fact that he makes Velia also flash, that's kind of valuable because NAAFIRI's overall playmaking abilities are pretty limited in the early game without that ultimate. Whereas Jarvan, it feels like as long as he's in the right place, like flash is useful, right? But comparatively to the NAAFIRI,
you can eviscerate about 2 meters. Hooray!
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Like that's like the other side of that coin in that argument as well. The Fury's got a dash on that for 3 seconds. Oh goodness.
I think he's in trouble. He just spent the entire Valkyrie there as he hooked the wall. We'll be okay there. I got a little nervous, I'm not going to lie, because Rek was gone for the heal and not the ignite or anything, so perhaps not as much kill threat as I thought there was, and got a little bit overhyped there.
Yeah, just a bit, but he's alright. We'll walk away. Ruby, so about those desperation plays.
You were talking about those. How does this one go, Archimada?
Well, see, the problem is, if Ruby flag drags, then Velia can press the W key. He's going to hold on to his
that's a big
Q.
one. Okay,
Alright,
well...
he actually got the smite, Ruby.
That's a good one, but over comes Nemesis. That Orianna gonna have to flash
Doxy's got ult,
Doxy.
actually.
Has got quite an option here. We'll start to make things really electrifying. And the W key is pressed instead it's the L key. Now Nemesis might be looking in a pretty dodgy spot himself. It's the Orianna who currently doesn't have flash. Baus is in a bit of a scary spot. They just turn around and pick him up as well.
Okay.
VenOMCREST pick up too. All right.
Okay.
Desperation perhaps not.
Alright, yeah, calculated. I mean, first move out of Doxy there as well. Very, very handy. Baus was really trying his best to find a wall slam angle, and it just created this very awkward dance where he and Doxy were kind of just playing ring around the rosy whilst Naya was having a bit of a deeks at it, to be honest. Nothing more, nothing less. Those are multiple kills going over to VenOMCREST. Now, on the bright side for Los Ratones, they are going into the Jarvan, but also on the not so bright side, a Fed Jarvan can be pretty terrifying at times. We'll see how far Gooby can press his lead with this much gold. He is still down a little bit in XP. But we'll continue to track his impact now that he has managed to acquire what feels like a lead for the first time since quite literally the first 5 minutes of game number 1.
It has been something, and he has managed to pick up some kills, which is nice. Again, dropped a lot of camps. There's a few invades that come on again. And Velia and Los Ratones have been very, very aggressively looking at that one. Dragon has spawned, VenOMCREST in the river, but also Los Ratones here to potentially contest. Put down a number of wards. They've got a nice line there, splitting the bot lane off from the river. No one's going to start up the Dragon as yet, but it is Los Ratones with full vision control in the area.
Very one-sidedly at that. I mean, Gooby's actually pathing up towards top side of the map for the time being, because he's got 3 camps there, no camps on the bottom side. So he's not going to be down here for this Dragon. You can see, though, on the minimap, Kobe and Wendell are just doing their best to shadow that objective and ensure that Velia isn't just kind of sneaking it for the time being. Scooby's going to hit level 6 off that red. I wonder if he's just going to beeline straight to mid.
No flash there still, yeah. Could definitely look for that.
Just on the simple premise alone.
Orianna with no flash. It's every jungler ever, is that right? I guess we look for that one. Not going to turn into anything quite yet. Grubs have just spawned. And Gooby just slides on into this side bush. Can look for the angle. There's the Cataclysm. Can look for a turnaround here, but just doesn't have the damage side. That comes across onto another earth, and Wendell's there as well. And Nemesis gets to walk back and forth a couple times, but that's about all the outplay he has available.
Yeah, just because Wendell's got the first move there, it just secures that play for what it is. Velia pretty much had to be there on the spot to deny that from ever going down. Baus is meeting the bad end of a lot of trades, but it's to be expected. Kennen, though we don't see him very frequently in this meta, is still the lane bully that we know him to be. And
yeah.
He does not really have many tools into that. Yeah, I mean, it's what I'd call a legacy bit, really, from Doxy. From many, many years gone by, leagues like Matchco, or leagues like the Italian League on Matchco, and things of the like, where...
It did feel like they ran that league, so I get the misspeak. As Velia, though, the moment we speak well about a player, they end up in trouble. We're going to put the lightning rush down, but he's been marked by the hot dog. Do you want to buy one? Throws down the slicing maelstrom, flash on forward. There's the handshake, and it is very firm indeed. A hostile takeover. And Reckless, unfortunately, picks up the shutdown. But hey, sometimes when you make a deal with the evil businesswoman, she comes out ahead.
Yeah, I mean, lane assignment's a little slow from VenOMCREST here, and despite picking up the grubs, the swaps around from LR very good. A relatively heavy investment to pick up the Kennen here, with both flashes from Crown A and Reckless, and we'll see if that's punished.
The Dragon's being taken, so there is that.
So there is, yeah, there will be that immediate cross map of the Dragon. So we're not going to see an early, early soul in contention here for LR like we have seen for the past 2 games. Yeah, maybe it just makes things a little bit weird, a little bit awkward as, well, goodbye Kobe. Sent to the mountains of in between tier 1 and 2.
What's that mountain range called? Like? I'm trying to think of a good mountain pun, and I'm struggling here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think I failed you on that one. It's kind of my job. I'll have to workshop it. Yeah, that's fine. We'll come back later.
You're the pun guy.
This is literally my job.
Sorry, correction. Amongst the play-by-plays, you are one of the many pun guys.
I think it's almost a prerequisite. You're not allowed to be a play-by-play unless you enjoy silly puns.
Yeah. It's like that, or I wouldn't say Neo. Hello, Doxy.
Nice handshake. He might be in trouble here. Gonna try and run away a little bit. Has a blast cone, but to where? Just about out to safety. Velia here. Can look
Velia has
for
in a second.
the pack. There he comes.
What?
Wendell, that is superb timing. The depth charge saves the top lane.
Wow, okay, it looks a bit funky on the spectate because I don't think the knockup actually went through on what we saw. But like you said, the depth charge is what actually interrupts that charge in from Velia. So really well played from Wendell, and they're able to turn around the play. That looked really dire for Doxy. Great stuff. And VenomCrest find themselves with a 1,500 gold lead.
It's good.
11 minutes in. It feels like perhaps the first time in this series they've been with a lead at this point in the game.
Also looking, and I can't see whether this is a HUD bug or whether nobody picked them up, but I don't think I'm seeing grubs. Do you spot who took them? Because I can't see it on the HUD right now.
Definitely a HUD bug, because I'm pretty sure I recall VenomCrest. All right, hold on. I think
VenomCrest must have it because they've got a dragon and 2 objective pips towards the feats of strength. So they must have the grubs off that alone.
I very much remember them taking it, so doing some deductive reasoning as well.
I did too, but I was like, have I just lied to myself? And I've just like convinced myself that happened.
Yeah, no, it can
production have confirmed it. Thank you very much, production.
Yeah, some self-gaslighting on the caster desk here. That's happened from time to time. Say something enough times, you believe it, right?
Right. Jamada is a nice person. Jamada is a nice person.
Wow.
Well, we now find ourselves in, I think this is our slowest game of this series. It's been a bloodbath. Pretty much the entire time. We finally got a little bit of a breather, and VenomCrest kind of happy for it. They are leading the gold, they're leading in the objectives, they've gotten this cannon really, really far ahead, and the Jarvan has survived what was a pretty nasty start to the game, and has picked up a set number of kills. He's in a pretty happy spot now, and I think VenomCrest, assuming they can keep the pressure up, are going to be with a pretty good platform rolling into this mid-game.
Yeah, I'd love to see them be even more decisive around trying to make plays when they've got windows of opportunity with Prio, right? I mean, this is actually a good example now if you take a look at the minimap. Wave shoved in mid, a little bit of first move from Naya, and while she might not be able to necessarily pull the trigger on an execution of a play, it's just about that pressure, right? Pulling the LR around the map gradually, finding windows, and this is, the kind of stuff you can find.
Depth charge onto the cataclysmed Orianna, who's got nothing there to do. It is the end of days, at least for Ori. The hostile takeover hits no one. They'll try and turn it around. If Reckless now in danger, can try and put a bailout in, but it's just not enough. As they do finally get a reset for Comet running with Crowley, who puts out the Valkyrie. And it's enough. The fight getting very messy as Baus is turned on up. Nita, though, throwing another rock. As Nita picks up one more, it's a 4 for 3. A bloodbath indeed. I apologize. No, it's not, because Doxy wasn't there.
It's a 4v5. And that's the big part about this play here. That's the headline. It's Nemesis getting caught in rotation. Again, what was I just saying? This is perfect. This is why you want to go into areas of fog, really try to drag LR around the map, force them to make positional errors, and this is the kind of result you can pull out here. Reckless Zolm as well just swings wide. It's a little unfortunate. And Gooby is able to flash out last second, and the Triumph heal stops him from dying to the bleed. And sure, Baus comes in to finish off the play, but now he's committed without being able to slam Naya into the wall. Crowny wins his 1v1 with Kobe, but he has to disengage. And Wendell picks up the final kill credit there onto Baus with a lot of assistance from Naya. And the play is fantastic and provides so much extra gold in the right places of pockets for players of VenomCrest.
Now got 1,000 gold in mid lane. And now in a position where Dragon's about to spawn, and there's some really key cooldowns that are not available. Things like that, Hound's Pursuit, really important on the NAAFIRI. Yeah. So VenomCrest are going to try and get over and play that one. Reminder, Doxy has the teleport, Baus does not, of course. That is a Poppy with a flash. So Doxy would have to be very careful about when he TPs, because notoriously able to interrupt teleports is the Poppy.
That Poppy is. I mean, Like, one thing about this game state for VenomCrest, I might not be able to really get this point off. I feel like positioning is a little too aggressive. Will, oh, hello, Doxy. I mean, this is really great from Baus. Trying to keep Doxy in a position where you can't TP. Baus will be able to walk down now. Doxy should try and reset, get a TP off, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
Split off, goes
Gooby.
looking, crowd
Wow.
flash around, Reckless in danger, they go looking for this one, the Dragon now left alone, Gooby in danger, but they go the route on Reckless, down for the count, into the backline goes the dog, but eviscerating nowhere, hasn't got the resets, tries to call the back, but no one answers, called an ambulance and it was VenomCrest that got it as a triple kill over to Wendell.
Yeah, you know what, mate? Sure, why not? Yeah, triple kill to the Nautilus. Yeah, fantastic, great job. You know what? He earned it for the Oh,
hang on. Okay, Doxy, we were praising him, but has died the 1v1 topside. First turret to Lost Returns, but they lose the Dragon, so there is that.
Yeah, they lose the Dragon. I mean, this will be feats of strength too, right? It's the third objective here for VenomCrest, so they're going to get those boots. That's going to feel nice. They can actually get those completions in. My oh my. I mean, so I'm sure, or I'm hoping we'll get a replay, because I don't think this team's going to run straight to Herald. Here's the replay of that 1v1. Now, being a bit greedy here, but I'd love one of the objective fight too. Just Doxy disrespecting the
you're
potential
making
for Baus to
production
walk
work
around.
for it today.
Yeah, I'm really running them around the room.
Okay, can I get an ice latte and a foot massage? And,
but like, look how lovely. But look how lovely our production is to get this one ready for us so quick, right? The Gooby's angle, it's a banana combo on Jarvan. How often do you see that?
Very rare.
It's onto Reckless, and then the Chains of Corruption as well, and then the dive is really smart. The Shockwave as well, it's 2-man onto the backline, but there's just not enough damage right now at this part of the game for that to be impactful enough. And the full-blown commits here from Los Ratones, not great, and this is the issue that we speak about with the Los Ratones drafts, right? So many of them are often built to be very reactive in nature. There's no Leona, there's no, frontline engage coming out of the support. Very, very rarely is it the case that Reckless is on, a Rel or an Alistar. It's really, it's typically these kind of champions like Renata, Rakan, and a couple of the other enchanters that we see him pilot. And at times, it does feel like in a situation like this where you would love to be able to commit forward to punish what is in a very immobile backline. You don't get to do that as easily as, say, VenomCrest get to with the Nautilus and with the Jarvan. And we'll see how this transpires now.
Yeah, it's quite a short range composition too into a Poke Farith with Chains of Corruption, Nautilus and all of his CC, Talia's ability to throw down Unraveled Earth and shove you over it. Has gotten behind Niter. That's with the teleport. Gooby's around. Niter gonna get pulled back with the Shockwave though. That's an important shutdown going the way of the Orianna. Once returns, not gonna have a tower to take there, and I think we can maybe fight over the Krugs. What's happening in the rest of the map? VenomCrest got the Herald play onto the mid lane tier 1, so that's already fallen, and Doxy will get some free time towards that tier 1 bot side, but I think that's about it.
No, I mean, I think this is still an uptrade for VenomCrest. Like, dedicated 400-ish gold plus, and then you think about some of the minions missed in the wave, TP out Baus. They actually also snuck away a Raptor camp. I think a wave was missed mid. There's a strong chance, honestly, that VenomCrest uptraded total gold. I'm not quite sure how big Niter's shutdown was, and that will dictate the truth of that statement.
Yeah, if he had like a 700 gold shutdown, it changes things around. I don't think it will have been that, but he's still... But it gets the Orianna some gold, and in fairness, for this composition, you're setting up for Naafiri resets best you can. You really want that Shockwave to be painful, so you do get that reactivation on the ult for Velia, who's really had a tough time finding those right now. Was full send onto Nemesis. You heard it from Adrian. Oh wow, is the start, and afterwards is VenomCrest might have gone.
Oh, Doxy.
I fear a little deep. Doxy looking for an angle. Bailout heals Nemesis though. He gets to stay alive for a second. Corner the pack still not gonna be enough as Kobe gets that one. It's messy, but VenomCrest still able to try and threaten this one out as Crownie looking for an angle. Turn around with a depth charge. Reckless though finds a bit of damage back. Kobe trying to trade this one out. It is absolute disaster for everybody involved. Ends up being a man advantage for Lost Returns though somehow, some way.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose Lost Returners get more kills there, so we'll call that a win for them. Awkward engage from Gooby, but hey, look, after the split that Gooby's had individually, adjusting to this position, I like the fact that he's sending it. I really do. Yeah. He just, again, one of my early concerns about this composition was just that same page, right? That consistency of same page. I think he believes that Wendell is following him directly behind him, but he takes the wide route, right? Takes the wide angle. Niter then commits. at a slightly unfortunate angle. And because he doesn't drop the wall immediately, Wendell's
Still
immediate
trapped, yeah.
like, entry is a little bit slower than it needs to be. But they're able to still advance forward. The bailout saves Nemesis for a few more brief seconds. But because of the way that, again, you know, the execution kind of falls flat in some of these areas, things like, you know, Kobe having to use his flash there to secure the extra kill. Not necessarily ideal, especially with the dragon spawning in 40 seconds. And the bot lane of Los Ratones now having their flashes. And that's really important because of how much work Crowley's been able to get done. Not losing that flash in that exchange. Really, really crucial.
One person who doesn't have the flash is Nemesis, and this Orianna has been target #1 for the Cataclysm combos. If you can blow her up again at the beginning of a fight, could be a very valuable trade-up. We'll see exactly how that one plays. It would be sole point for VNC if they can secure it. To mid lane we go to fight for the wave. Reminder, there is no turret there for Los Ratones, so it's a little bit of a rougher deal if that wave gets shoved.
I want to draw your eyes to the wall. Yeah, I mean, look at the Doxy TP. So he's going to be seen because he's going to dart past all of LR. But still, now they have to play with that information that he's there. They're going to walk forward into Ruby. Ruby's in trouble. He's got it!
He goes in, finds the Cataclysm. The seismic shot comes on down. They kill off that Jarvan. Still get the reset. Bouse in danger. The backside, Doxy gets a pretty mediocre slicing master ball thing said and done. And Bouse just won't die. Another hammer shot. Another angle in. Where the hell is Kobe off to the side trying to find something? Finds a dredge line, but I don't know whether Wendell actually wants that. Finds a depth charge after Bouse. Still absolutely unkillable. This Poppy is an absolute beast now.
Oh man, they just had to play time. They just had to let the pressure of Doxy being behind them really work for them. But now LR get everything they wanted off that exchange. They get the kills, they get the objective. And I praised Kubi for his mentality of wanting to send it, but there's lines. There are lines. I'm not sure how. It looks like he was out of EQ. You can see the flag was actually in that bottom brush where the pink ward is. Where Wendell is right now, just a second ago. So that's why he feels the need to have to commit that way. But it's still a fantastic decision from LR to just press the issue, right? They understand. There's 4 in front of them, 1 behind them. They can either try and, you know, corner off the 1, get threatened on the total collapse, or just run at the 4, right? With the numbers advantage still in tow. They're able to pull the trigger quick enough.
There was a point in this game where Doxy at level 2 or so got a solo kill on Bouse. He's now 1,700 gold behind somehow, some way. And reminder, game 1, 6 Bouse champions got taken out by draft. Deliberate attack on the champion pool, and right now, arguably playing the most consistent out of the members of his team. Velya and Nemesis have struggled a bit here. Crowley, once again quietly, has hit team fights. There's now 5-1 and 3. He's also getting pretty damn scary here. It's not over for VNC, but the lead they had, and it was a significant lead, has dwindled away to practically nothing. The gold is close to dead even.
Yeah, they just need to take a breath. VNC. Just accept for a second that, all right, momentum swung a little bit. Let Los Ratones try and make a play, right? That's been one of their weaker points. But don't let them get a free play. That's not the angle you need.
Yeah, went a bit too far the other way, guys. That's the pendulum swinging far too far away, and Wendell ends up dying kind of free as Bouse walks it in menacingly.
Yeah, I think this, just the feel for this game, starting to feel like Los Ratones might just end up 3-0ing them after all.
I was excited for a fourth.
Let's see. Yeah, that was I. Let's see. Can Gooby get a steal? He's got a
handshake.
Buff through. Oh, the wall stops that.
There's a shockwave after. Knight is now in danger. The
no.
takeover. It's absolutely glorious. Reckless finds them all. It's a triple towards Crowley. And the Atacana is secured as well. Los Ratones right back in the game, the early game. Messy. Looked problematic to say the least, but they managed to hold their nerve, find some much better fights. And right now they look like they can do no wrong.
Yeah. These last 2 skirmishes, 3 skirmishes. Decision making again, it's just coming out on top for Los Ratones, and that has always been their strong suit so far this year. These mid-game decisions. When push comes to shove, and VNC have just been making the wrong ones now. The last couple of minutes after a very promising early game. More normal from Reckless. Criticizes engage play. Simply because we don't get to see it often, but he gets to make a play like that work on the Renata.
Can't complain, can you?
Doesn't really matter. Yeah, you can't complain at all.
Now you're looking at things like Nemesis has finally got towards an arm guard. Started off at 0 and 5, now has 9 stacks on the Dark Seal. It'll be a lot harder to deal with. You've got the second item on the NAAFIRI. And there's the third item just done for Crownie. It's getting tricky. 5,000 gold lead, kind of out of nowhere for Lost Ratones. Well, not out of nowhere, it was a big team fight in Atacam, but you know what I mean, guys. All the while, a minute and a half till Dragon would be sole point for VNOMCREST, and they can afford to give that one up, play for some structures, play for time. I just don't know whether that necessarily favors them this game.
I'm not too sold on the time thing either. What is what's good about this 5k gold deficit that VNOMCREST are in right now? When you look at the items, the only big discrepancy is actually just between Baus and Doxy, which obviously that is a big deal, but being at a 5k deficit where only one champion on the enemy team is a whole item up,
You can do that.
take. So that's a very manageable situation. So Baus is trying to make it as unmanageable as possible.
He's level 16, the highest in the game right now, and currently taking next to no damage. Looking to go into the backline now. Nemesis goes golden. The hostile takeover buys some time. Berserk goes Niter. Gooby caught in his own cataclysm, and it's the end of days, but for the wrong person, Velia will eviscerate Flash away. Baus on the killing spree. Baus bosses them all. He is the best in the league. He certainly is in the NLC. Flashes on forwards. Lost Ratones knocked down to the lower bracket. And I think it just made him very angry. They hulk out in this series.
You can pinch the guy's champion pool, but eventually he's going to make a weird play that's going to work. This isn't even one of the weird ones.
No.
It's just an aggressive moment out of him that VNOMCREST can't handle. Now they're going to be able to pick up this Baron off the back of a full-blown ace. They only lose Velia. And even Velia maybe could have walked out of this one with his life in a couple of different scenarios. All these going to be extended now. I think that should just about be the final nail in the coffin. Bar some real spanners getting flung into the works. And Baus is just super unkillable, right? To those two champions. The ultimate from Reckless does so much work in buying a lot of space. And again, it just feels like this game, we haven't seen Doxy really threaten the backline with ultimate. Unfortunately, team fights haven't worked out the way that VNOMCREST want them to go. That shotgun-esque comp has not been able to break apart Lost Ratones and been able to stand very, very firmly on their feet. Now this Dragon is up, and
Here we go
likely
again.
going to be our final team fight, if anything, because been signaled for the last couple of skirmishes.
It's felt very Lost Ratones favored. They are up a lot of gold now. I won't do the maths on there. You can do that yourselves, guys. Just know that it is significant. Dragon started Velia on a potential flank angle. He could be pretty deadly here as Baus steps on forwards again. Wendell caught out. Doxy forced to back away, lost half his HP bar. Gets a decent depth charge on the other side though. Does Wendell buys a bit of down to 4k HP is the Dragon. Looking at trying to redemption, heals people up. Into the back, there goes Gooby. It's a big cataclysm, but the follow-up's not there. And the turnaround with the hostile takeover, with the Hound's pursuit, will drag them all straight down to hell. Cry havoc and let slip the jungle dogs of war.
Yeah, Baus is going to TP onto this mid-wave, and they're going to shove with Baron. This should be game 3-0 Lost Ratones. Few ups, a few downs in this series, but otherwise, I think you're right. I think that series versus Nord only really served to piss them off a bit. They're going to walk down this mid lane and end this series and give us an early night.
The Danish representatives will be denied a trip home. Lost Ratones' journey through the lower bracket begins, and they do it with style. You can't ban Baus out, it turns out. He has a few too many available to him, and it's a 3-0.